everyone, my name's Amanda and today we're going to be working our back muscles, our rectus spinae and our core muscles and our abdominals. Really important that when we consider working the torso that we always balance both sides, and within that the techniques we're going to use and working very slowly without any music to kind of make us focus on the beat. We're going to work really slowly and focus on our breathing and on executing the exercise correctly and safely. Now when we're working with the back, at any time, if you find it too much, then I'm going to ask you to come back into, and you can take breaks, just come back into a stretch. This is child's pose taken from yoga, or you can go into a cat stretch, just move your back a little bit, release any tension and then come back into the exercise. Again, you don't have to kind of go for gold, just do what you can do. It should feel mild discomfort but not pain, and it should feel like it's working. So we're going to start off with our back muscles and then we're going to go on and work our core and our abdominals. So the most important thing when we're working our back is the safety of our neck and our spine, and the way we execute the exercise is key. So I'm going to give you options as we work through. Stay with whichever option is best for you and where you can get a good range of movement through your back extensions. Okay, so I'm going to just kind of come down into position. If at any time you want to take a break or you need to pad your knees up or anything at all, you just do what you need to do. But importantly, when you're looking at the screen, when you're looking at what we're up to, I want you to make sure that you don't lift your head up in this position when we're doing the back work. I'd like you to be able to turn your head, or you stop, have a look and then join back in. But make sure that you don't do what we call a hyperextension of the neck, because that's really not very good for you at all. So what we're going to do, we're going to start off with, this is best to do after you've had a bit of a walk or you've kind of done something so you feel your body is a little bit warm. Obviously today we're just going straight into it. I'm not doing a class before for you. So, but it is good if you're warm or if you've sort of loosened up and mobilised yourself a little bit before you kind of go into the exercises. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn our big toes in to face each other, feet on the floor, so first position, and then you're going to bring your elbows to the floor, hands turned up to the ceiling, looking down, and you're going to lift yourself up and you're going to come back down really slowly. Okay, on the way up you're exhaling, and on the way back down you inhale. Okay, that's our first position. So elbows on the floor, toes together, legs are not lifting. So we're just starting off really basic. We can build up as we go through. So looking down at the floor between your hands, pushing your hips into the floor. I want you to push up. Elbows stay on the floor and then you come back down. So again, be polite to your body, lifting up and coming back down. Now just notice your breathing. Exhale as you lift, inhale as you come back down. Exhale, elbows on the floor and come back down. Good. Exhale and come back down. Now just feel as you're doing this, ask yourself, are you really squeezing your gluteals? I want you to kind of release your gluteals as much as you can. I want you to be feeling the work in the muscles that support your spine. Okay, we're going to do 2 more like this. Toes are turned in. As you rise up, just feel the muscles of the undercarriage pulling up, but your bottom, try not to squeeze it. 1 more time only. And then release. And from here, just push back. Knees as wide as you're happy with. If you prefer, you can put a towel or something underneath your knees if they get sensitive, and then just reach, a little stretch back. And you can do this at any time, this stretch. Okay, our next position. So if you're happy with that one, continue with it, okay? Remember, what's important is that range of movement, how far up you get. So the next position that I'm going to offer you is hands here on your bottom, exactly the same position with your head and your toes, and you rise up and you come back down. So you exhale and inhale, okay? Really controlled. Try to keep your chest open. Try to keep your neck very long and look down at the floor directly underneath your nose. There you go. Lift up and down. Now if it's too much, you can come back into this position. If you've tried the other one, hands on the bottom, and you don't like it, then you remember your alternative. And if you find you're only kind of getting up a little way, it's better to go with the slightly less challenging option and to actually get a better, what we call range of movement. So you're making a bigger movement there. We're going to do 2 more, whichever option you're doing. 1 more. And then you release and you pull back. Knees wide. And just stretch out. Allow the muscles of your spine to just release and lengthen. And just shuffle back a bit. Comfy yourself into it to get another millimetre of length. Another millimetre of release. Abs tight, pull up through pelvic floor. Come back to position. Back down. Okay, so you can stay with either one of those options, or we can go for a more challenging option. Don't have to, we're not going to do tons of them. And that is with your fingertips to your temples, toes exactly the same, and you rise up and you come back down. So now this is more challenging because your weight of the arms is being lifted by your lower back muscles. Lift up and really open the chest as you lift. As you exhale, you're looking down at the floor. So you exhale. Good. Remember your other options if you prefer. Try not to whiz off without me. Remember the easier option. You might want to just drop in and out of those. Your choice. 2 more. 1 more. And release it down. Pull back and a little stretch out. Release back. Lengthen through. Very good. Okay, so now drawing up through your abdominals. Put a limb in each corner, and again you're looking down at the floor just in front of your hands, so your neck is in correct alignment. What I'd like you to do is take out one leg and then take out the opposite arm and push away. Now really draw in the abs, feel deep between the hip bones. Feel that deep contraction. You're lengthened, hip and toe in line, fingers and shoulder in line, and then just slowly take it down and slowly bring it back up. Slowly down and back up, and again, and back up. Hold it here. Push away like you're being pulled in both directions, and now take it out on the diagonal, back into centre, and bring it down. Opposite diagonal. So take your time, get the leg lift, get the hips parallel. So try not to twist through the spine, and lengthen and breathe. Really lengthen, good. And come down and slowly rise. Looking down at the floor, really focus on you. Long through the arm, long through the thigh bone. And you're breathing. Exhale, inhale. And again, hold it here, really push away, opposite directions. Diagonal, squeeze it, use your back muscles. Center, and slowly down. Pull back, and just lengthen the back. Releasing off those muscles. Very good. Just exhale, get a little deeper with every exhale into the stretch. Come back in. So now we're working a little bit of core, a little bit of back, a little bit of deep oblique. Take it out. And then we bring the elbow to the knee. And then we lengthen. Longer than before. Elbow to the knee. And then we lengthen. Very slow and controlled. Elbow to knee. Exhale. Inhale. Again. Crunch tight. Inhale. One more time. So we've got to do the other side yet. And lengthen. Now push, push, push. And bring it back. Switch sides. Lengthen out. Hips parallel. So we're not allowing the hip to lift up. Push away. And then crunch. And lengthen. And again, crunch and lengthen. Really push away. Crunch tight and lengthen. Push harder away and crunch and lengthen. Hold it here. Push, 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 push. Very good. Bring it down and then rise up like an angry cat, tucking the bottom under. Allowing your abs to strengthen here and then release down. Okay, come back in for one final round, whichever is your position. Okay, big toes together, last set for the lower back. Okay, so you can choose the easier option. Let's get started here. Just rising up and just feel and take notice of the movement quality. Okay? Are you lifting up with ease? Can you pivot on your belly button? Are your ribs lifting from the floor? Or have they got a little way to go yet? It's your choice. You can choose whichever position you prefer. Or, of course, the more challenging one, squeezing and controlling that downward phase. Your choice. You can drop in and out of the different options according to how your body feels. 2 more times. Make this your best one yet. Exhale. Inhale and release. From here, over onto your back. And now we're going to start with the abdominals. Okay, so what I want you to imagine, I know I always say this in my classes, I want you to imagine your lower back is like a jellyfish moving through the water. Okay, so it has this 100% contraction pulling downwards towards the mat, and then it has a release. Okay, so there's a suppleness in the lower back as we work through the abdominals. The back and its back muscles is not like a plank of wood. When we move around functionally day to day, we have to have suppleness in our back, in our hips, in our whole body. That's really important. So as we work through this, I'm going to remind you about this kind of jellyfish back, okay? When your back is coming down into the floor, that's the 100% contraction. And then when you give it the release, you release it to about 90%. So it doesn't kind of go completely tight and then finish, released completely. It is always in a state of tone. So make sure as we work through, you get a sense of controlling the abdominals and they don't just kind of go bleh, yeah, and relax completely. Not unless we're stretching them at the end. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to roll down onto your back, and again with abdominal work, what's really important is you work to your own level. So don't go doing, too much. There shouldn't be pain, and if you can't keep your lower back on the floor when I'm asking you to, then you take a break. Okay, you don't have to do all of it. So we're going to roll down, lower back into the floor here. And for starters, we're just going to massage the lower back and the sacroiliac joint into the floor. Just say hello and be nice to it before we get started with the work. Okay, so our base position, knees over the hips. Okay, what I don't want you to do, and I can't correct you because I'm here and you're there, I don't want you to bring your knees in unless you're resting. I want the abdominals active. So knees over the hips and feet in line with the knees. Okay, so this is our active set working position. Okay, now think about your lower back. So suck it down 100% like the jellyfish, and then just release it by 10%. So we're just getting a feel for connecting with our abdominals, with our core. Down and 10% release. Now, as you're doing this, as you connect down the 100%, I want you to draw up the muscles of your undercarriage, the pelvic floor muscles, everything underneath comes upwards. And then when you release, just 10% off, then you just gently allow them to lower slightly. So they don't kind of just push out. So it's down, pull up pelvic floor, and then gently release. So there's movement, suppleness and flow through your lower back. Okay, all we're going to do, hands here to start with. You're going to lengthen out one leg, exhale and feel the lower back connected, and then bring it back into base. And the other side, exhale and bring it back into base. Just get used to that feeling, and if you can do this at home with a mirror close by, then you can actually see the position where you get to, and you can help realign yourself if you need to. Okay, so you exhale, good, really long through the leg if you can. If it's too much, you just go with a bent knee and you bring it back in. Okay, so you can make this all a lot easier if you don't make it as big, and bring it back in. Okay, so now as you lengthen the leg, I'd like you to take your arms overhead and then bring them back in. Don't have to, it's an option. Exhale and inhale. Lower back into the floor now as you exhale, and then just release it off slightly. Good. Exhale, really lengthen the arms. Feel like you're being pulled in 2 directions. Inhale, so nothing happening with the head and neck. Exhale, really lengthen the leg. You're being pulled along the floor. Inhale. Again, really use those deep muscles as well as thinking about the top layer. Again, exhale and inhale. 2 more times. Exhale. Inhale. 1 more time. So just get that feeling for connecting with your body. And we're going to take a moment there, release, and just rock side to side. Okay, so moving on up. You can stay with anything we've been doing, or we can add on. Now we're just going to change a little bit. So I want you to keep the knees at this angle, and all we're going to do is take tiptoes down to the floor, and then they come back up again. So remember, no pain in the lower back. Really feel you're squeezing and tightening between the hip bones, and bring it back up. So you exhale, tiptoes to the floor, pausing and bringing it back in again. So exhale. Now the time the muscle is under contraction or time under tension is the really important part, and bring it in again. So here we add the pause, because this is when your muscles are under contraction, and bring it back in. We do 2 more. Exhale. Is your back still supple? No pain in your back. So pushing down, push down, little tiptoes on the floor, and back in. Again, exhale. Exhale, little tiptoes. 1 more time. Exhale, lower back suckers down like a jellyfish, and back in, and take a break. So remember, at any time you can grab your water, you can press the pause button, and you can then join back in. Or if you want to do if you don't want to do all of it, then you can just stop when you want to, and then fast forward through to the stretch at the end. Okay, so from here, all we're going to do now, back in position, knees, toes alignment, or the ankles alignment, and this time we're going to take it down. If you want to make it a little longer in the leg, lengthen them out, then you can, and bring it back in. And we're going to add the arms if you wish. Okay, these are all options. If you're just happy doing 1 leg at a time, then you can just carry on with that. Or if you want to take a break and grab a drink, you can do that as well. If you've finished, that's fine. Exhale and inhale. And again, exhale. Lengthen the arms, feel very long through the body, feel very strong between your hip bones. Inhale. Again, exhale, long and strong. Very good. 2 more times. So it's all about the quality of the repetition, not the quantity that you can do. Last time now. Exhale, inhale. Take a moment and just rock side to side. Do whatever feels good for you. Maybe just loosening out like windscreen wipers. Maybe that's your release. It's entirely up to you. Okay, so ready to go back in. A little bit more on the abs. So we're going to come in here. Okay, make sure you're feeling very long, very separated through your ribs. Okay, very connected to what we're up to. Okay, so we're going back to a single leg. Exhale and inhale. And again, exhale. Remember this from the beginning. Okay, very good. So we're going to take the arms, as we did earlier, and we're looking up at the ceiling, And here is a space between the chin and chest, big enough for an apple. Okay, we're going to keep that apple space there. Okay, and now all we're going to do as an option is as you come back in, you rise up through the upper body and you exhale and you inhale. Okay, exhale and inhale. Think about that jellyfish back. It's connected down, then it just kind of releases 10%. Exhale and inhale. 2 more. Exhale. 1 more time, then we're going to take it up a notch. Option for double legs. So take it out, lengthen, and crunch in, hold, 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 and exhale. Lengthen, lengthen, and crunch. Hold, hold, hold. Exhale, really long through the abs. Feel it, the front panel, and then crunch. Hold, hold, hold. Make sure the chin and chest are not connected. Good. And hold, hold, hold. You can do 2 more of those. Hold, hold, hold. And we do 1 more. Exhale. Bring it in and hold, 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 and release. And just take the legs side to side, allowing release. Allow the release. Very good. Okay, bring the legs in, hug them in because we're releasing the back, and then just allow movement, an active flush through the abdominal muscles. Good. Relax it there. Take longer if you need to. Okay, last little section. Knees over the hips, base position as good as ever, yeah? And then from here, without using hands and never putting hands under the bottom or the back, we call that cheating, okay? I want you to lengthen up a leg and then back to base. Lengthen up and back to base. And this is where a mirror will be useful for you at home. And back to base. So exhale and back to base. So if you find yourself kind of flopping down here, it could just be your body's had enough, you're tired. So just take a break and do a little bit more next time you play the video. What I would like you to do now is put a little bit more effort in. Now we've got our range, I want you to lift up and back to base. Lift up, 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 and back to base. Again, up, 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 and back to base. And up, up, up. Now can you flex your foot? So your hands now are behind your head. Bet you guess what we're going to do next. And lift, lift, lift. I want you to get the feeling now of floating your butt cheek off the floor. So lift, lift. I want daylight under your cheeks and back down. Again, lift up, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. So there's no momentum here. This is all about the muscle. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. An option is to lift up through the shoulders if you want to. As you lengthen each leg, you're lifting up through the shoulders. It doesn't have to be like all the way up, just a little bit is fine. Again, and squeeze. Now ask yourself, is this enough? Or can you do double legs? Push the ceiling away with your feet. I want your feet flexed and push, push, push. And back down. Again, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. One more time only, and squeeze, 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 position and lengthen and crunch and lengthen, slow, slow, don't rush off, and crunch, jellyfish back, pull it into the floor and crunch, one more time only, the best one yet, all the way, and crunch for 3, 2, 1, and release. Well worked. Okay, all we're going to do here is stretch out that front panel of abs, and in this position you are safe to arch your back. You're fully supported in this stretch by your shoulders and your bottom, so you're not going into hyperextension, and just lengthen. And then lengthen right arm, right leg, left arm, left leg. Oh, enjoy. Right, right, and left, left. 2 more. Right, right. Last time. Left, left. And lengthen out. Bring the knees in. Hug them in. Just allowing the muscles that we've worked just to stretch and ease through. And then if you take your legs one way and just drop your palms to the floor and look away from where your knees have dropped. So if they've gone left, look right. And then using your abs, pulling up the undercarriage muscles, lift the legs up and through. So we're not shoving the arms into the floor to move the legs across. And then we go the opposite direction. And look, 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 look. In the opposite direction from your legs, allowing your side body just to completely release through. Very good. And like all muscles, when we're working muscle groups, you don't need to work them every day. 2 or 3 times a week of this kind of work for the midsection is plenty. They need to recover in between. Bring it back in. Very good. Then you can put your feet on the floor close to your bottom, or we can go into a half bridge. So just rise up through your hips and lengthen away. Allow the front panel again just to release. And then from the top of your spine, roll back down all the way until your pelvis is supported. Bring both knees in, and in one move, up you come. I hope you've enjoyed that today. When you come up off the floor, remember, come up nice and slowly. Don't kind of just jump up, because if anyone's got any blood pressure issues, then that can sometimes be where they feel a little bit wobbly. So just take it easy coming up off the floor, and I will look forward to seeing you again, same time, same place.